If you have a transmission, let's say it's less than 250,000 miles, because you get up in that 250 to 300,000 mile and above range, you're just talking about age-related issues. But I found pretty much under 250,000 miles if it's had regular fluid changes and it does not have any metal particles in the pan, the fluid does not smell burnt, and the outside of the transmission is not leaking fluid all over the place, you might consider the valve body. One of my goals here is to remove some of the mystery surrounding these valve bodies, because when you remove the mystery, you remove part of the fear. And when you remove the fear, that builds confidence, and you might be willing to take this on. If you're looking at this and you're having transmission shifting problems, hey, this is something you can do. Now note here, this is not the way you take these apart. I'm just showing you all this because this is everything you'll have to deal with. It's very important when you do this that you remove these different command valves and accumulators, that you take them out and you put them in specific orders. You can actually take this apart, remove all the pieces, clean it, and put it all back together. You just have to be careful. You just have to make sure that you're keeping track of it, that you have the right documentation. Now, why should you do this? Why do you need to take a valve body apart when you're working on your transmission? In fact, you could do this without even removing the transmission from the car. Let me show you. This is the key reason why you want to do this. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, if your valve body's working okay, just put it back in. The valve body that you see here was removed from a 1980 300D Mercedes. It's a 722.1, had approximately 210,000 miles on it. It wasn't particularly exhibiting any problems, but I thought I would open up the valve body for show and tell, all right? It comes in 3 pieces. Now, before I open this up, I want to talk about cleanliness. If you read the Mercedes repair information, both on microfiche and some of the old manuals, when they talk about working on the valve body, guess what they say that you should put this on? It's leather. They tell you to put this on leather, keep all the parts on leather, because leather doesn't have any lint on it. I see these people using these blue shop towels. They're not lint-free, and other paper and stuff to clean these. Why do you think the factory said, you got to put this on leather so you absolutely don't get any lint in it? Well, it must be pretty critical that you don't get stuff in here, because if you get stuff in here, then it's not going to work right. So what stuff is getting in here anyway? Look at this gasket. Look at that crud. What do you think that's doing inside the command valves and the check balls, okay? Now let's look at this section of the valve body. You'd say, what? How did all this stuff get in here? Look at this. Way up in here, down in these channels. You think, well, this is some of the worst I've seen, okay? Now this is in 2 pieces over here, so there's 3 pieces in this valve body. Let's take a look at this one. We open it up. It has an intermediate plate. Look at the dirt in there, see? And then look in here. Look at the junk. So where does that come from? And if the factory's telling you to put this together on leather so you don't get any dust in it, I think you can see I'm making my point here. Most of the stuff you see in the valve body comes from worn clutches. The material coming off the clutches as they wear, and it works its way down into all these passages. If you're suddenly having some transmission shift problems, imagine that all you'd have to do to fix them is to remove this. You can remove this from the transmission without pulling the transmission out of the car. You take it apart, you clean it. Can you imagine the joy if you found out that was the only problem with your transmission? Okay, I know what some of you are thinking, well, the valve body, that's a lot of work. Well, it's not as much work as pulling a transmission. If you've changed transmission fluid, filter, gasket, and been under the car, you can pull the valve body out and clean it. We're not talking about overhauling. We're just talking about taking it all apart. Now, there are some upgrades you can make to this. And I'll be carrying some of those things on my website, but you just don't have to think in terms of overhaul. Just basically cleaning everything and meticulously putting it back together could solve the problem. There's no guarantee. You say, well, what if I go to all that work and the transmission's still not shifting properly? Well, at least this part of the job is done. Okay, you see where I'm going with that? You don't have to redo this because you didn't have to pull the transmission. But if you go after the valve body first, and even if you make some modifications to the valve body and it solves the shifting problems, you can pat yourself on the back because suddenly you've saved quite a bit of work. But if it's still not solving the problem, then you may have to take the transmission out and go through it, but at least your valve body is done. Since I completed my video series on the 722.3 and 722.4 transmission about a month ago, I'm getting a lot of questions about the valve body. In fact, I have people out there saying, Kent, you got to do a complete video on taking a valve body apart and rebuilding it. I don't think a video is the proper way to explain how to do one of these. It's so much of the step by step by step. You're going to be turning the video on, stopping the video, backing the video up. What was he talking about that one ball, or what about that one spring? Where does it go? I think a written manual is the way to go on this. I want to show you what's in the kit and why I include it. So first off, we're going to talk about this little manual. You know, I've downloaded this off the internet. This is public information, but it's very detailed in terms of where all the parts go inside the valve body. And that's the key to doing this, making sure you get everything put back together properly. You're going to do a lot of cleaning and so on. But this is the information you'll receive, and I bind it and I put a plastic cover on it because I know you're going to get oil on it. And the reason I have not double-sided it is you can make notes on this side of the page related to this unit you're working on as you're going through the overhaul process. And then I include, of course, the sealing rings, the complete set. You will find there are extra ones in here, so don't worry about that. You just take your accumulators, take the old sealing rings off, compare them to the size you need, and install these. Just be careful, don't spread them too far. And then I have these very special 12 by 16 inch lint-free, and these are really lint-free cloths, and this is what you want to use when you're reassembling the valve body. And these little splinter-free smooth sticks I include are for cleaning. You can actually wrap part of the lint-free cloth around these to do cleaning in the bores. And here are the bottles that you can put your lubrication in. Here is some transmission goo. And then finally you're going to get this. And what do you think that's for? Yeah, that's right. When you pull all those parts out and do one half at a time, you're going to put the parts in here. You can even mark what they are, and this will keep them organized, so if you happen to bump your workbench, you're not going to go flying all over the floor. And then I'm going to include a gasket for the transmission for the 722.3, because a lot of times you're not going to need to replace the filter. You just need to replace the gasket. When you drop the pan, pull the valve body off, overhaul the valve body, and put it back on. I highly recommend doing this job because more and more problems with shifting on these transmissions is turning out to be valve body issues. Not only issues inside the transmission, but the valve body is now highly suspect.